Yeah, I love the Senna. It's definitely a champion that offers a whole bunch of utility. Cross-map plays with the Dawning Shadow Ultimate. I love it. I'd imagine, though, going into this banning phase, much like the Yasuo will be contested, I think the Gragas is going to get banned.
I'm just a little disappointed that we haven't seen the Senna and Nasus yet. So I'm just like, just throwing it out there. It's a very, very viable, duo right now. But yeah, Omo, what do you think of the bans so far here coming out from these teams?
Bans are pretty expected. I don't think anything super unorthodox is coming true. What I do want to point out though is that the Olaf is still available, Ziggs is still available, and this ban phase pretty much ensured that, in my eyes at least, Flash Wolves have the only true OP left in the form of the Ziggs, right? In my eyes, that's like the big ones are Renekton, Riven, Lee Sin, Varus, Ziggs. And this is just going to be traded back with SBTC going for the Senna once again. They are a team which really loves the Senna pick, and though you mentioned Kirel is able to be a hyper carry, he's also comfortable buffing his teammates up, letting them run in first. And I like that we see Minus back on the roster. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's a very solid player. Not to say Unero isn't, but I'm quite interested to see what Minus can do in this game. Darius. There we go.
Yeah,
Here it
Skinny,
is.
what about you? What are your thoughts so far, and where do you think the rest of the draft is going to go?
Oh, I'm just hoping that Ysera breaks this Darius curse. Every time we've seen it locked in, we're thinking, oh, please no. It's like 0-4 so far. It hasn't been his day with that champion, but hopefully he can turn a new leaf with this one. So they've got the Bruiser Boys, they've got the rundown potential, they've got the ability to try and charge at the center and make our life a living misery, especially with the Ziggs back up from behind. But SBTC showing obviously they've got a fair bit of flexibility with the Galio. Could be the Galio center in the bot lane, could be a mid lane if Julie wants to go for that one. You combine that with Rengar, anybody gets stunned, any bit of CC, Rengar pounces, and it's a one-shot.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I do like the Lulu Olaf coming in from Flash.
Oh, it's the Kaiser, it's the Kaiser.
Here we go. What a surprise, right?
Yeah, I think that, Flash Wolves, yes, they do have the Lulu and the Olaf coming in, but we do have a brand here from SBTC Esports. Omo, what do you think about this pick?
Now, we talked a lot about how the brand has been nerfed, right? But what does brand love to play against? Team comps that run at you. What does Darius, Olaf, and Kaiser do? They're short-range champions.
Yeah, Infinity, this is a pretty interesting draft. Because SBTC, again, one of the best teams in the world, the best in the Vietnamese region. I swallowed the word. The best in the Vietnamese region, is actually really exciting for me. They've turned to this hyper late game, full damage, full team fight composition. They're gonna have the Rengar and the Fiora as kind of the bridge to get there. And then throughout this entire mid game, SBTC are just waiting to get to a game state where Senna and Brand one-shot the team fight. And if they can get there, they win. If they don't get there, then Flash Wolves win. Flash Wolves do have the tools to shut down this game early. You're looking at the Kaiser, you're looking at the Ziggs. They're kind of mid-game team fight, especially with an Olaf and Darius as their front line. It's really impressive. So we're going to see a very quiet early game, likely. We're going to get to like the mid-game around 10-15 minutes. Flash Wolves are going to try and win. If they don't, I think SBTC run away with this on draft in the hyper late game.
Yeah, see, when you mean there, I mean, the analyst desk has touched up onto it, right? You have the Senna as an infinite scaling champion, can snowball into infinity for Kiral, so I think SBTC is really looking up to that. But looking into this one, you have TF now just looking for a fight, looking for the early passive.
Yeah, he'll walk out here onto Ysera.
Actually goes in for the taunt, walks through under the turret, actually went in. Ziggs comes through though with a satchel charge. First blood coming down for SBTC, but with a trade down 1-for-1.
First blood over to Flash Wolves. They're very happy with that exchange. That went just about as well as it could. And this is going to be something to keep your eye on because both teams opted into the split push strat, into the counter map strat, because Demon and Eason were sent up here to the top lane. They lane swapped and they hand shook into duo lane into top laner. Both teams accepted that matchup. Right now, that's going a lot better for the team that instigated it. Flash Wolves are getting their waves repeatedly crashed against the turret in the top side, and they completely zoned Minas off of wave, removing a lot of the mid-game gold you're looking for in Fiora. SBTC, on the contrast, didn't get a whole lot of value out of this. In fact, they traded 1-for-1 when they tried to gank bot lane.
Yeah, and you just have to pay the price, right? For Minas into the top side, fighting up against Kai'Sa and Lulu, it's all about pressure, it's all about poke. coming in from Flash Wolves. And as you stated, when it comes to the bot lane, they got the trade down 1-for-1. But the thing here is, TF got that passive, and I think that is what SBTC wants. Yes, they got the gold, yes, they got the even trade, but at the end of the day, TF is scaling the game.
Yeah. We do have, because of that extended trade, SBTC with a very minor gold lead, but pay attention to where it is. A lot of that early gold goes on to the Galio. This is going to be an AP Galio. You might think this is going to be a support Galio. He's playing in lane with the Ziggs, so it's very likely that Arcano is farming down bottom, and I believe he in fact is. So he's going to be taking those minions, and Kiril on the Senna is going to be just farming off of souls.
Yeah, definitely. But now SBTC, TF jumps through, but will not be able to get that kill at the cost, even for a flash for SBTC.
This wave's going to crash, though, Infinity. And this could be a decent amount of gold for SBTC if they can get this wave underneath the turret in time. And all of that is, of course, happening against the backdrop of this first objective spawning. You're going to have the Drake down bottom and Infernal Drake, the most important kind of Drake. Rift Herald up top. Normally, I give credit to the Rift Herald as the most important objective on the map. Here, I think the Drake's slightly more valuable, especially if you're planning on going to the late game like SBTC are. So Flash Wolves very likely want the Rift Herald to accelerate through the early game. SBTC should want the Infernal, so they have more late game damage.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned about it, because I think that is the reason why how SBTC is pressuring in bot lane a while ago. Their thought process is, if we get the kill, if we get the pressure in, we have that more chance on getting that Infernal Dragon. But for now, they're not able to do so, so they're just roaming around the map, looking for those kills, looking for those ganks, before they jump in onto those massive objectives. Because Flash Wolves can go for the Rift Herald, trade the objectives 1-for-1, and Flash Wolves, as we have talked about a while ago, can utilize this to gain that edge into the mid game.
Yeah, I think this is a handshake everyone's happy with. This is a trade deal everyone walks away from pretty okay with. Because SBTC get their late game. Flash Wolves, though, are hoping, they're praying, if everything goes to plan, they don't see a late game, right? That's why this Rift Herald is so important. If they can summon it, and in fact, I would even argue for it being thrown down right now in the top lane. If they can throw it down right now and take 2-3 turrets, they get such a big gold boost.
Definitely, but now SBTC 3-man roam into bot side, gets the kill down, but Flash Wolves gets a tower for his blood. This is what they want, and Minas to defend the top lane.
Yeah, that's an alright trade again for Flash Wolves. It's good for SBTC that they've shut down Bruce, that they've taken away some of the mid-game power of this composition. But don't take your eyes off what Flash Wolves just accomplished in the top lane. Breaking the first turret of the game, getting a massive gold injection, that's far more valuable than a single kill. And they're going to walk away from that going, okay, we're still out ahead in terms of gold. Sure, it's dead even, but we have a Rift Herald in our pocket. That's going to ensure us at least a couple more turret plates in a couple of moments here. And if they can get that gold onto Demon, as they have done so far, they can continue keeping Demon as the most gold-efficient member of their team, then they have a really scary mid-game team fight.
I mean, Demon, I think, would be the one to be controlling Flash Wolves when it comes to the late game. So pretty much, I think Flash Wolves really want to set Demon in a very good position for that late game matchup, especially how SBTC would scale through. But now, SBTC goes for the pincer attack, crash down onto the top hill, beside the Dragon's Pit. Minas gets the kill onto Cookie. That will be the 1-for-1 though, but Bruce, Eason will die. SBTC gets double kill from Julie.
What an execute from SBTC! They spot Ysera on the top side of the map. Oh, this could get dangerous.
Yeah, the 1v1, Julie not going off, forces out the flash
Well
to go
done.
back away, but Ysera Hex flashes onto the wall, Guillotine puts him down.
Oh!
Another kill for Flash Wolves.
TF, Minas, both in.
Yeah, they're trying to get it through,
That'll
but
be it.
Ysera's just too fast, too quick.
So SBTC actually execute a really good play there, which is going to give them the edge in gold. They spot Ysera on the top side, and they just call a 5v4. Very intelligently done, very smoothly executed. But the problem is they're all now low on HP, so they need to reset. They want to go back to base. And Flash Wolves take advantage of this to push down the mid lane with Rift Herald.
Yeah, they can't do it. Flash Wolves is gonna get another kill out of that. Minas will die, so that will be the one. Buy one, take one. Tower and a kill.
Yeah, very well done by Flash Wolves. That neutralizes. That's the other half. That's the scale balance of that big team fight we saw in the kind of banana area behind the Dragon Pit. Because SBTC may go very proactive, very aggressive play, but Flash Wolves go, okay, now all your players need to reset. They have gold in their pockets they haven't spent. So they're behind in gold compared to our team. We're just going to handshake on that, say we have an advantage on the map right now. We'll throw this Rift Child down, get the all-important mid turret, which makes it very hard for SBTC to contest their own jungle. It's going to be very easy for Flash Wolves to lock down the top quadrant of the jungle right now, right in front of that Baron. And they get an extra kill, growing their gold lead on the map.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna grow much more as SBTC Minas into the bot lane.
Wow.
Gets down as Flash Wolves went for
He's
the 4-man
so
run,
large.
gets the kill.
That was the biggest Darius I've ever seen.
Well,
And-
that's what Lulu
Oh.
does too.
Oh my god, this is your Darius on Lulu, I guess. And all of this means that SBTC have just had this game start snowballing out of control. When? Around that 10-minute mark, right when I said Flash Wolves need to be looking to close out this game. This is the mid-game where Flash Wolves want to spin this game out of control for SBTC, and they've done it. A whole bunch of this comes from the top lane turret take we remarked on earlier, where if you remember, Ysera and Demon got a ton of gold from the first turret break of the game. They're applying that now on the map, and they're keeping this tempo rolling. If they can find one or two more major team fights, then they can run away with this game, and SBTC won't get a word in.
Yeah, they need to do it. They need to win this mid-game, but SBTC now crashing
Huge
down, though,
pyroclasm.
onto this. TF into front lines with Akino coming through with Hero's entrance, but will fail down. Now TF forced to back away, flashes over the wall, but will not be able to go back as Isra gets the kill. That will be the 2-4-2 for both teams. 2-4-2.
Yeah, whilst that play is happening, Cookie just full sends it into SBTC, and he gets massive value. He shuts down Julie instantly, and he keeps pushing onto TF, onto Akino. The reason Akino is so low when he comes in there is because he's just been trying to defend Kirol and Julie against the pressure from Cookie. So by the time Heroic Entrance is in, the damage has already been done. He doesn't have any HP to tank to protect TF. So really well played by Cookie and Flash Wolves in that team fight, splitting the team fight power of SBTC, getting a positive trade, 2 kills for 3, favoring Flash Wolves because they're able to split up the 5v5 damage-focused composition that SBTC bring to bear.
Yeah, and I think that's the cost of having this sort of squishy type composition, right? You have Julie and Kirol needs that late game power spike, but the problem with Julie is he is an enchanter, he is a mage, but he doesn't have any escape route. When you're comparing it onto a Ziggs, you have the satchel charge. So the only one that Julie is depending on is going to be the peel coming in from Akino, Minas, and also the flash and barrier. But the problem was, he doesn't have it onto that. So I think that actually supports your statement on having Akino into the front lines defending it. But that actually just crumbles down on how SBT wants to do so. So now Flash Wolves, 10-minute mark, as you've stated, they get the lead. They're now controlling this game. What do you think that SBTC needs to try and make this into an upside down fight?
I mean, time. They need time. And luckily, they have the tools for it. Okay.
Ooh, Hero's entrance goes for the knock-up. Easy kill coming from SBTC with a followed up CC chain. But Olaf with a Ragnarok not getting CC down. He lives, but he gets killed with a burn. And now that will be Julie taking it down. That will be the 2-4-1 though in favor for SBTC.
Yeah, 2-for-1, and it's the support that dies, so SBTC take that any day of the week, and what's changed? Well, their damage is online, and they were able to fight 5v5. These are the two elements they need. First of all, time. They need damage to come online. As I was about to remark, you just saw Rabadon's death cap completed by Julie. That's a massive power spike for any AP, any mage character, but especially for Brand, who gets so much value. The next item he's looking for is Leandri's Torment. To just, oh, actually, we're going heal cut. That's interesting to me. Probably just because this Darius is so big with the Oblivion Orb, he's going to have Grievous Wounds, shutting down some of the regen. And actually, this makes sense because there's into Darius, Olaf, Lulu, who are all like healing so much during the team fight. I actually really like that. Anyway, you do have a massive power spike for Julie. He's doing real damage. And the other thing that SBTC changed during that team fight is they 5v5 fight. They have all of their forces in one place, and they're forced to fight front to back. Flash Wolves engage onto Akino. He's not doing a whole lot of damage, but he's buying time for the damage to be dealt.
We have Galapito from SBTC and Flash Wolves. TP Zone now coming
Julie.
up for Minas to come into the fray here, but not going all in. Flash Wolves has that respect onto SBTC. They both go back away. They don't want to fight.
Yeah, it's a good call from SBTC. They didn't have that front to back we were talking about.
Flash Wolf gets a good apprehend, but a guillotine gets the kill down. And now Isra
He's
is
big.
now menacing this fight. Now Minas forced to flash
He's
away.
menacing.
But Bruce is into the backside, goes in, tries to intercept, will not be able to do so. But that satchel charge gonna be the clutch. What is
He
this?
lives! Minas survives to the mid-side though. Flash Wolves spring the trap onto the other half of this team fight. And Kirill's here. Respawn coming in soon from Julie.
Look at Demon though. Killer Instinct into the backside. Hero's
He's
Entrance
dead.
gets down. And Senna gets the kill. Kirill gets that trade. You know what? Demon going very aggressive. We will take you down.
And that's actually a pretty massive giveaway for Flash Wolves. Demon is... Ooh, dear TF.
Ooh, Isara with a clutch, with a shield coming in from Lulu. And he gets away. Got free. And TF is down. That will be the 1-for-1 though. Both junglers will fall.
A very massive giveaway for Flash Wolves as Demon is so much their damage value in these fights. Ysara is the other half, and he's so low he can't step up here. So SBTC again take advantage of the timing and press forward, and that's the power of the Oblivion Orb. You saw him try to lifesteal off of those wolves and just get nothing for it. That's because of the Oblivion Orb that Julie just built, cutting the healing, applying grievous wounds, and making sure that Ysara can't regen in the middle of these team fights. That's going to have a massive impact going forward as we're at the 15-minute mark. And that was the upper bounds, if you remember, of my time limit for Flash Wolves. They needed to win in the 10 to 15-minute window, and they have done nothing of the sort. SBTC have extended the game, and as a result, they're here, they're online, and they're ready to team fight. Flash Wolves have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, this is now their world. This is now Flash Wolves trying to creep in and destroy how SBTC will scale down. But the problem is, how we talked about scaling is supported with the Infernal Dragon and Ocean Dragon secured by SBTC Esports. So I think this will be much more harder than it looks for Flash Wolves coming down into the 16-minute mark, the 18-minute mark. But now they're starting onto the Baron Nashor. I think this is what they want to try and change things up.
We're gonna burn this Baron, just try to speed up the game, get out of here before it gets too bad.
Flash Wolves will get the Baron Nashor. Now Heroes Enter, zone down the enemy team, but will not be able to do
TF?
so. Now TF will get stuck, and that will be the free kill for Flash Wolves.
TF stuck inside, didn't have a way to leap out. Took a while for him to die, Infinity, I'm not gonna lie. So here's Flash Wolves, Baron in hand. They want to end this game, this push. It needs to end before the respawns.
Flash apprehend with a proto build, actually kills down
They get
Julie!
Julie!
What a damage coming from Flash Wolves, and now they're going for the inhib turret, but SBTC's defense
This is possible.
is there. It is indeed possible. You only have one siege minion left, but you have Ziggs as your team. But they're not gonna push this through because Bruce is so low.
Yeah, that's actually huge. That was possible to end the game there, but I don't think I think Flash Wolves maybe just missed their best chance of this game. Because the next objective, if you're checking your scorecards, the next objective is going to be the Elder Drake, which is game-ending in a game this close. That will decide the game. And SBTC, unless they make a horrific mistake, are going to be able to 5v5 fight for it. Breaking an inhibitor here would have been very massive, because it would have meant that SBTC were constantly pinned back in their base and couldn't 5v5 properly. That's not the case. Flash Wolves didn't break the inhib, and now SBTC can step up into the 5v5s they're so strong in.
Yeah, they're looking for the fight here, and you have Trail of the Hunt readied up. Not gonna push through for TF. So much coming from Flash Wolves here. They're gonna get that tier 2 turret, but look at Darius going for the apprehend onto Akino. Not gonna get that kill down, no follow-up, but another inhibit turret now being punished, now being pressured down by Flash Wolves top lane.
They should have enough wave clear to be safe here. Pressure in. These waves aren't getting cleared out. This is a ton of free damage just given over. SBTC hide behind their turrets, and they lose 2 of them as a result. You need to step up there as Julie. You need to step up there as Kirill and clear those waves. Because they don't, Flash Wolves get exactly what they're angling for with their Baron buff, and that's actually huge. Now there's going to be super minions pouring in through the mid, through the top lane. They don't force the team fight because they've achieved their objective. Flash Wolves are going to reset, they're going to get their buys, and they're going to try and leverage the late game power of Demon and Bruce on this Ziggs and Kai'Sa to win the fight around the Elder. If they do, they win the game. SBTC know this, so what they've got to do is shove these waves as far forward as they can, so they don't need to worry about the super minions, and then force the 5-on-5. Watch Julie's damage, watch Kirill's damage. They need to survive in this fight for SBTC if they have a hope of winning this.
Yeah, and Akino is onto the front line for SBTC Esports to try and alleviate such of a disadvantage. Now TF forced out to take his Zanchan, followed through with Akino with the hero's entrance, but Ziggs once again, mega in from the bomb, connects onto a lot, apprehend from Isra, locks onto 2, will not be able to get that kill, but what's enough though is punish them when it comes to HP. Now they're starting on the Elder Dragon.
And SBTC don't get the 5v5. Now they've got to press on the Elder.
Oh, apprehend to the 2, blindy up against SBTC. Now they're stuck on the pitch. They want to fight this. Demon comes in into the backside with the killer instinct. And now SBTC Esports is going to get eviscerated. And Flash Wolves has the option to end the game. And Jolie will be the last one. But Flash Wolves will take him down. That will be the ace. Flash Wolves takes the first game of the series.
Julie's playing another game. He's in the mid lane. And SBTC don't get the 5v5 team fight they're looking for. A massive upset as Flash Wolves, the 2nd seed out of the Taiwan.
I do think in the right situation, it's still pickable. You just have to be a lot more patient with how you play it.
Yeah, I would love to see Brand back, you know, into like the meta and to viable play right here. Maybe it's just not SBTC's champion. Maybe they could have gone for something else. But right now, bans are coming in as we head into Champ Select. Skimmy, what are your first thoughts here?
Yeah, I like it as I'm seeing so far. I mean, you flip the sides, and SBTC will now get the creme de la creme of what they think is OP so far. Nexon is available, but they are considering the Camille, which we have seen time and time again be an option where teams are saying we're not too phased about the early game spikes. Also, it does mean that Ysera can get his pocket pick, which we know he's so proficient on. But I do like the Camille. It's one of those champions, if the pace is going to go this kind of direction, a champion that can be that 1v9 performer.
Yeah, if that's the game that SBTC is going to take, it's going to be the game where they get Camille on minus, or maybe even on TF, right? They can flex it. And it seems like they want to go for a lot of early game power here. Camille is your late game insurance, you can't scale, but picking up this Trash and Kai'Sa, denying it from Demon very early on, it's going to be a bit of a nice touch here.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, speaking of Demon, actually, a lot of the plays of Flash Wolves rely on Demon and, you know, how he needs to pop off and everything. And I'm just wondering, you know, should Demon be banned? Should SBTC Esports actually catch on to that? Do you think that he's that key player that they really need to latch onto, or is it Ysera?
It's hard to say. I mean, I would never say that Ysera is a key player. He does his job when the situation requires it. I don't think he's the star, but I think he can be stable, and I'm impressed if we are seeing that from him. But Demon does need to be shut down. He does need to be punished for his aggressive gameplay, and that's gonna be a Nunu Trash combo from SBTC.
And there's the Ari. Look, so I wonder if you share this kind of same sentiment as well, Omo, because like I feel like last game you could have maybe subtracted the brand and swapped it for the Ari. We've seen it be so strong into these bruises when they're running at you. You know, a Torn into a Post, into a Root, into a Charm, like all the CC in the world, right? By that time, as we said, that was the key words. I don't mind it here. I mean, there's a lot of time to find that pick, to, you know, lock down that key target. I guess that is the adaptation here. You are removing a lot of the poke, right, with the Varus and the Zig, so you're just saying, we want to take a straight 5.
SBTC have doubled down on the experimentation here. They've got themselves the Thresh Kai'Sa lane. Thresh, of course, I think pretty powerful here, and kind of one of the only pure tank you know, frontline supports that is meta right now. They also have the only tank jungler that I think you can build full tank in TF, pulling out this Nunu. And they're pitching all of this around the damage that has to come from Julie's Akali and Kirill's Kai'Sa. And that's gonna be it. Minas is gonna be a duelist, but he's not gonna have major teamfight damage. He'll be useful in late game teamfights as a counter to what Bruce and Demon are pulling out. This double AD carry comp from Flash Wolves doing so much damage. But they are relying, at least for the early mid game, on what Julie and Kirill can put out with this double tank frontline. And that is really exciting to me.
Yeah, and if SBTC gets punished, especially with Cookie coming for Flash Wolves in the level 5, if Julie gets punished, if Carol gets punished, and I think that changes things up for SBTC Esports. I think it's going to be much more harder. As you stated, these two players are going to be the damage dealer, the ones that SBTC Esports is going to depend on to. So I think they really need to skill up in this early game.
That's a gnarly snowball. You see
Calculated.
that? Do you see how, like, green and gross it was in Infinity?
Yeah, I saw it. It's like, I don't know. The snowball has grass, has plants. I mean, they're walking on grass fields.
Yeah, I don't think that's grass, man. That's pretty gross.
I don't know too, but what I know is Flash Wolves go for the 3-man row top lane.
Dear.
Ignite, gonna burn him down.
Wow.
That's gonna be the first blood for Flash Wolves.
In the bot lane, though, there's a counter gank from SBTC, and all the Flash Wolves are so low after that experience that they're not going to be able to take a plate off the turret, not going to be able to hang around, because they have to be worried about the roam up here from players like Julie. SBTC don't, it looks like, managed to make the counter gank happen, but they are threatening down here.
Yeah, they want to pressure in. Eason is very low on HP, but he's strong when it comes to defensive capabilities, when it comes to base stats. So SBTC Esports will not be able to punish Eason.
Okay, so first 3 minutes of the game, I don't know how many players know this. Judging by my solo queue games, not very many. But first 3 minutes of the game, these turrets are real beefy boys. First 3 minutes of the game, these turrets are grass-fed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you start trying to chew away at them, you're just not going to get anything. So it is the only reason you go for an early gank in the first 3 minutes is to get kills. You can't do it to get a turret, unless, like we saw on the top side, you get the kill really cleanly, then you can hang around to get the turret, which is kind of what I wanted Flash Wolves to do, but they've taken too much damage. So what we see down bottom there is Flash Wolves recognizing that, saying, okay, we don't need to stop you from getting access to this turret. We don't need to zone you off, SBTC. It's all right if Kirill autos the turret twice. The turret's not going to notice.
Yeah, it's like an ant biting onto, I don't know, a brick.
Name a big animal.
A big animal. Elephant. That comes into
Sure,
mind.
an ant biting an elephant.
Right. So I think it's so difficult, and as you stated, supporting that statement, that I think when adding onto members under a turret, it also adds defensive capabilities. As far as I understood, the patch in like patch 1 or patch 2 for Wild Rift. So I think that changes things up. As you stated, they need those kills, and they have not gotten that. So no trades for SBTC Esports, and Flash Wolves leading the pack here for now for game number 1.
Yeah, we're coming on the first objectives of this game. SBTC have a little bit stronger of an early team fight. They have a little bit stronger of a first level team fight here. Because they have the Camille, they have so many abilities that do damage. That's how you measure this. Ooh, okay.
Oh no, Isra gonna be locked in. Hexic ultimate will follow up. Cookie in there, but they're not gonna be able to save Isra's life. And now it's gonna be a 3v1. Cookie's on the edge. They want to get that trade. Will not be able to do so, but now Flash Wolves gets in the party. That will be Eason and Lucian to save the day. Gets a kill down. That will be the 1-for-1.
Oh, Killer Instinct! He's got him!
He got the kill. What was that, Kaisa? Kirill being sneaky.
What a play from SBTC! And they leave the trading 2-for-1 off of a massive roam, and they're going to try and force this Rift Herald. This Rift Herald, by far the more important early objective in this game. You don't want a Cloud Drake. Nobody wants a Cloud Drake. So they benefit from these respawns. They're going to get this Rift Herald, and Flash Wolves, a little slow on the uptake, will trade it, handshake it for this Cloud Drake.
Yeah, and it gives you much more value, right? It gives you 300 gold, and it gives you a little bit more extra pressure into the mid game if you want to utilize it to get the power first blood.
Oh dear.
Or get the mid lane turret.
Venus in trouble here. We'll be able to jump away. So right now, SBTC are looking at the map and thinking, how long do we need to wait so we can get our 5v5 or even our skirmish team fight, leveraging our tank frontline online? And what that looks like is TF finding engage, Arkano finding engage. Venus will be fine here. Nice flash. And the damage during that fight coming from Kirill. So what you're waiting for, if you're SBTC, is the arrival of Kirill as a damage source. That's going to be around second item. Once he's got a decent amount of crit, if he's able to maintain pace, by which I mean if he's about level with the other team. If he falls behind, you need to wait for a third item to do damage as a Kai'Sa. But Kirill's even slightly ahead right now, so you're looking at second item, give or take.
Yeah, we're waiting for the BRK, we're waiting for those item power spikes, because currently he only has the BF Sword, the Executioner's Calling, the Longsword, which upgrades your Arcadian range, but not that much damage when it comes down to it, so we just need to wait for a little bit longer, while Flash Wolves gets a tower for split, easy, uncontested bot lane.
Yeah, SBTC threw down the Rift Herald in the mid lane, slightly off camera, but it was really a profound waste, and I've seen a couple of teams, especially Vietnamese teams, do this. Just kind of throwing the Rift Herald, seeing what happens. You should not be spending the Rift Herald if it's not going to get you a turret. Because anyone can chip away and just like auto-attack a turret and get a couple of plates. And if you have enough access to summon the Rift Herald in a situation like that, you can probably just auto it for the same effect. What you should be spending the Rift Herald for is when you're able to drop a turret down to half HP with autos, and then you want to finalize the turret take.
Yeah, and I think that's a general consensus, right? It's better to put Rift Herald maybe into the top lane or bot lane, but you have that security of getting the turret. So I think that's going to be something that SBTC wants. But right now, they're fighting into the mid lane. Flash Wolves going in for the engage as well. Counter attack. Hexic Ultimatum locks down Isra. Isra will fall down. That is the follow-up. Cookie will die as well. And now Eason forced to back away. And that will be SBTC taking a turret mid lane and 2 kills.
And that's exactly what I was talking about in terms of these defensive 5v5s that SBTC are going to be so good at. Kirill can reposition out of danger using the killer instinct and then sit with Julie behind TF, behind Akino, the tankiest front line in the game with this double tank composition. Thanks to the addition of Nunu to the jungle pool, you can have an extra tank in this composition. And there's just no way for Flash Wolves to access either the AD carry or the mid lane. They can just sit there, pump out damage, and Flash Wolves melt.
You just have so much peel, right? TF building up pure attack, but here into the top lane, different story. Isra going for the 1v1, 1v2, not gonna be getting killed there.
Wow.
But look at the train of armies from Flash Wolves. They went in for 5-man roam immediately in top lane.
And I love that from Julie, having the common sense not to overchase there. It was a very low HP Ysera, but it matters so much more that Julie doesn't die here, because Julie, again, you're running a double tank composition. That means Julie, that means Kirill. Their lives are so important, so valuable. You have to know that when you're an AD carry. Every second that you're dead isn't just, oh, no, I'm dead. It's, I'm not farming. I'm not gaining gold. I'm falling behind. So, fall back. Let them take the turret. SBTC will get the turret trade down bottom. And overall, it's fine. Net even. In fact, maybe even a net gain, because Kirill gets the gold. Kirill, on that Kai'Sa, got the turret gold down bottom.
Yeah, definitely. On top of all that, Flash Wolves went in for the 5-man on top lane, so they're losing on gold in mid lane. And also bot lane when it comes to farm. So I think that was a net positive for SBTC Esports, as you stated. Going for the trade into the bot lane, just going for the split. But now, Mountain Dragon, this is a different story. What do you think will happen here? Flash Wolves now
it's all down to TF kind of defining this fight early. That's what you're looking for. The TF and Akino, as the two tanks, set the pace for this fight. And if they can get in and zone back Flash Wolves, build space for their carries, that's going to decide things here.
Well, it looks like they're zoning it away, and SBTC actually steals down the Mountain Dragon, and now Flash Wolves tries to go for the counter engage. Hexic Ultimatum goes for it, and now it's gonna be the double kill come from Bruce as well, but 2 for 3 coming down, and Kira into the backside also is dominating, and now Bruce will be the only one alive. That will be the quadra kill. That will be the ace for Flash Wolves. 5 for 4.
And it's carry versus carry, as Bruce and Kirill both go huge. And you can see how both team comps set up for success there. TF, Akino, they go in early, and Kirill spends that entire team fight just free firing. Watch this phase right here, while Kirill is just sitting behind his front line, auto-attacking away. But you flip the camera, you look at the other side of this fight, that's also what Bruce is doing. That's also what's happening for Demon, is he sits there just completely unshacked, able to free fire, The difference is, as this fight fades, Ysera's still up, and none of the tanks for SBTC are. So Ysera can take the focus, Ysera can take the front line and build space for Bruce to leverage his damage, whilst over on the SBTC side, it's just the two carries left, Kirill and Julie, and neither of them have enough HP to take the sustained focus of Bruce whilst they melt the carry.
Now Flash Wolves going for an engage into the mid lane. Eason very low. That's gonna get a kill coming in from Akino. And now Julie comes into fray, goes for the damage output. Spirit Rush comes down
Kirill,
over the wall.
unharmed.
Kirill unharmed, as you've stated. But Flash Wolves going back away easy. But that will be the lantern from Akino, pulling down Ari into the mid lane as well. No follow-up though.
I
so
love
that will
use
be
of
one for
lanterns. We've seen Akino be really creative with these lanterns today, getting very aggressive, throwing lanterns in. The other thing you want to watch for on very good Thresh players is throwing that lantern forward and sitting back, allowing your AD carry to kind of poke to get in a riskier position than they normally could, because the lantern will bail them out and offer an opportunity to disengage.
Yeah, it was played offensively by Akino from that lantern. Absolutely phenomenal from SBTC Esports. But once again, they're going for this type of aggression up against Flash Wolves.
I love this.
But Flash Wolves
Because-
is dancing with the same melody.
Because if they engage onto TF, SBTC win. And both these teams are kind of playing the same battle. If SBTC engage onto Ysera, Flash Wolves win. So as long as TF's taking the risk, as long as Ysera's taking the risks, this is an even game. What changes here is if you see a charm land from Julie onto either Bruce or Demon. If you see either Bruce or Demon pulled out of position, charmed, that sort of thing, it's an instant teamfight end, because SBTC have the damage to blow up those key carries. Flash Wolves, I think, have a little bit of a compositional disadvantage at this point, because they don't have that easy charm, easy engage. The best option they have is the explosive cask from Eason, who can split the team fight and hopefully knock someone out of position.
Now we'll see how that comes into fruition, as now Flash Wolves going for the engage 4v3 into the mid lane, but Minas comes into fray as well. No kills. They don't want to fight this.
Yeah, I mean, you can see exactly... Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's good. He saw it in very followed up with a Bolt Breaker.
There's the cask.
The cast actually goes for the disengage, but will not be able to do so. 2 kills coming from Flash Wolves, and now they're collapsing. It's gonna be a Flash Wolves going for the damage output, but SBTC went for the counter attack. That will be the double kill, triple kill, and now the quadra for Kirill.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. They throw out the engage. Flash Wolves spend everything. Who do they kill? They kill the tanks. They engage onto TF and Akino. And that's okay for SBTC, because Flash Wolves have then spent everything. And guess who's still thriving and living in the backlines? It's Julie, it's Kirill, it's Minas, the damage dealers, who can sweep back in and end that team fight. And this is going to be close. Minas might die to the Baron. But they will get the Baron. And that likely gives SBTC game number 2 of this series.
Yeah, huge lead right now for SBTC Esports. It's not just a tiny bit of lead. It's not just a medium level of lead. It's a massive lead, because we're considering 5k gold lead. They got the Baron Nashor. They have that opportunity to pressure down onto the Flash Wolves, but now Flash Wolves wants to trade objective. They're starting onto Infernal Dragon, but TF zoning them away with a snowball down. SBTC Esports going for the counter attack as well, but look at the Infernal Dragon. That's going to kill. That's going to be SBTC Esports putting it away for themselves, and now they're crashing down on the pitch. That is not where you want to be, Flash Wolves. It's going to be the triple. 4 kills, 5 kills for SBTC. Another quadra for Kirill as they take it down for Flash Wolves.
And look at the relative health bars. Nobody on SBTC is full HP except for Kirill, because he sits in the back, waits for his time, and cleans up the fight, cleans up game number 2.
And that will be SBTC Esports taking this game, equalizing the series.
What an incredible